We're Chris and Nicole, and we're currently building an off-grid Sprinter van and hope to be able to have it done and hit the road later this spring. Our friends graciously lent us their heated garage for the week, so we've moved inside and began working on some temperature-sensitive projects. Make sure to subscribe so you can follow along on our entire van build series. Good morning and welcome back to another week of the van build.
This week's going to be pretty exciting. One of our family friends has graciously lent us access to their pretty absolutely huge heated garage here. So the van fits right in, and we're going to go and do everything that needs that is weather dependent. So like our fan, windows, everything that needs sealing to be completely watertight. We're going to try to get all that done while we're in this heated garage here, and then that way once it's cured we can go back out into the Canadian winter and it'll all be fine. Yep, we're gonna not waste any time. We're gonna take full advantage of this and get started. So we're gonna start with the passenger side window here. What we did was we took, unfortunately, these beautiful windows don't come with a template, so we have to go ahead and trace it out onto the cardboard. So that's what we've done. We're marking it basically inside to make sure it's nice and level with the edges here. And then what we're going to do is drill 2 holes. So we're going to drill a hole here and a hole here, then take the template out to the outside, line it up with those holes and make the markings. And then ultimately we're going to have to go ahead and take the jigsaw and cut this entire template out. And then ultimately the window here will just slide right in there and it's going to sandwich in and seal. So we do have some weather sealant we'll put in there. But hopefully, if the template is, we'll double check the template a few more times, measure like a million times and cut once, and I think it'll go okay. So we've got the template all drawn out, and we've got some painter's tape around here so that when we run the jigsaw around, it's not going to scrape the paint that's going to stay, because all of this is going to go away. What I'm going to do now is drill a hole kind of right below the line, and then that's going to allow us to put the jigsaw blade in, and then we'll follow this track all the way around. I put painter's tape on the bottom of the jigsaw as well, just to help guide it without scratching all the paint there. Dog pee break number 72. Come on, let's go. Kino, come. Come. Good girl. Good girl. You want to cut some holes in the van?
Safety first.
Safety first.
Are you ready?
I am ready.
Hello! Oh my gosh!
Great success.
Great success!
We are putting butyl tape, which is a weather sealant, just around the edge of the window there. It's not exactly the most fun, as Nicole's just seen, to trim off the outside, but it will help hopefully just keep any water from getting in, so it's just an added layer. There is a little bit of foam there, and yeah, we're just gonna set this in, and then as we put the other side on, it'll squish and this tape will actually kind of squeeze out because it's pretty soft. So, and then that'll keep the water from getting in. This one's definitely a tighter fit than the other side. There we go. And that's how you install a window. So now we're installing the fan, which is one of the last major installs we're doing today. So what I've done so far is taken this template is going to go on the roof, and then that's going to sit flush with the roof. Fan will sit on top of there. So I took this template and used the parts that are going to fit in the hole and made some markings on the roof. And then I'm going to drill each of the 4 corners, and then we can connect the dots on the roof, make a square, give it a cut, and then we'll have a hole in the roof, and hopefully this will fit through. And I think Nicole's going to do a little bit of cutting.
Not quite. Angry man.
Well done.
All right, time for the fan to go in, or the start of the fan.
So I've got a bunch of butyl tape, and then we've got Cycloflex. It's a adhesive that is also seals. That's good for kind of RV uses like this. I think marine uses and everything. But I'm gonna put a whole bunch of there. It'll kind of spread out. Once we screw this in, which we have a wood box that it's going to screw into and kind of again sandwich it in. I'll also put a whole bunch more, and it's on the roof, so it doesn't have to be completely pretty, but as long as it's completely watertight, that's the key. So I'm gonna try to see if we can fit this into the hole here. There we go. Oh. All right, put it on sideways. So we're gonna have to lift it up, and then, but at least we haven't done any screwing or anything yet. So I'm gonna lift it up, twist it around, and then I'm pretty sure these screws need to be on the sides. That's gonna screw into the fan. Here's go down. Like any new device, the most satisfying part is the peeling off of the plastic.
Moment of truth?
Alright.
Does it work?
Car booster pack. There we go.
Oh, feel the breeze.
That's nice.
That feels so nice. Good job, bud.
Works. We're installing the electrical outlet that's going to go on the outside that we don't have to have a extension cord. And my dad, Jim, here is doing all the measuring.
Yeah.
Yeah,
measure twice, cut once.
Yeah.
Or is it cut once, measure twice?
Yeah, one of the two. So we're just trying to figure out where the best spot on the van is to put it.
Are we gonna let Jim put a hole in the van?
I don't think so.
You can drill the middle one.
I think I'll supervise that.
No, you can't screw it up. There you go.
There we are.
All right, we're cutting the hole for the power. We're going to use a jigsaw because we don't have a 2 7/8 hole saw available. The largest we have is a 2.5 inch, but we should be able to do this. And then if it's not a perfect circle, it'll be covered up by the cap. So.
Well, after almost 10 hours of working on the van, I think this is our longest day we've ever been consistent on the van.
Yeah, and we would be if like at home, it's just that we take so many breaks because it's cold or whatever, it's raining or snowy. So
it's been so nice to be inside a heated garage. We have been so productive today.
Yeah.
2 windows installed, fan installed. We've got the
solar panel gasket, which allows wires to go on the roof. We got the electrical socket installed on the outside of the van. All things that require a warm temperature to be able to actually install properly. So we got all that done today. It's getting pretty late.
So it's almost 10 o'clock. So we're heading home to go to bed, but we will be back tomorrow bright and early to get another head start on the day with another very full day. And I'm looking forward to more progress.
Yeah, see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Good morning, guys. Yesterday was a good day on the build. We got lots done. We also found out that our air conditioner will be shipping this week. It is early in the morning because some of you guys may know that I'm also trying to get my private pilot's license, and it's there's a lot of training involved, like both in the air and on the ground. As I just learned that I have my Transport Canada written exam in about like 2 or 3 weeks, and I have quite a bit left to do. So every morning I get to wake up and watch this guy tell me all about induced drag. It's maybe the less glamorous part of trying to get the license. But anyways, it's cram time and I need to get all this done so they can give me a recommendation so I can go write the test. So anyways, we are heading back to the van as soon as I'm through a couple hours of this guy. This guy talks so slow you have to listen to him at 1.5 times just to be able to bear it.
On our way back, and today what we're going to try to do when we're there is Nicole is going to get all the roof rails installed. We received those last week. They're basically the rails that go on either side of the roof, and that's eventually what our roof rack is going to connect into, but we need to do it now before we spray foam so we can put all the bolts in. And I am going to be putting in the heater. So, which Nicole's excited for, because the nice thing is that the way I'm going to hook it up is that we'll be able to use it in the interim. So when we have the van sitting in our driveway and it's cold out, hopefully it will allow us to be able to just crank it up, close the doors, and actually have some heat in there and get some work done. So that's the plan for today. So we're going to go see how our van fared the first night in a nice heated garage. Good morning!
Good morning! Hi! How's it looking?
Looks good, looks clean.
Nice and warm in here. Lots of stuff to pull out.
Yeah. But nice thing is it's jacket-free weather inside here, so.
Which we like very much.
Yeah.
All right, time to get to work.
What's going on?
Battery's dying again.
What are you doing?
I am taking out all the little buttons or whatever you want to call them for
Plastic
the roof rails.
clips? Or plastic plugs or whatever you call them, yeah.
Sure, so I've got to take out 11 of these all the way along each side so that we can put the roof rails in.
Yeah, we've got the roof rails down there. There was one or two extra holes, which was throwing us for a loop, trying to figure out if we had the right ones, but I think it'll be fine. So we're just carefully trying to get these out, doing a little bit of a hammer. Once the heat, yeah, it cracked a little bit.
No, I just scratched it.
Once the heat melts it, it seems like if we use a hammer on the bottom, on the inside.
Yeah, I think it's good to be hammered.
Okay, so let's go try that. Look down. While Nicole is working on getting the roof rails installed, I am going to install the heater, which we have all the parts for here. Almost every one of these parts, I have no idea what it's going to do, including this thing. I don't even know where this fits when we're installing a heater, but we will find out. So I know what we're going to do is we're going to put this thing. This is the heater portion of it. It's a diesel heater. It taps into the fuel line. The sprinters do come, I believe anyways, we'll look for it, but with an auxiliary connection where we can tie into the fuel line. But basically it's got an intake and an exhaust on the bottom, and we are going to install it right here under the passenger seat. So the vent will go here. It's going to blow nice hot air back into the cabin, and we'll put the thermostat kind of midway down the van so that way it'll judge when it needs to turn on and off. And underneath here we'll drill some holes down through to the bottom of the van, and that's where that's going to mount. And then we'll run all the fuel lines under the van, and it will hopefully be running by the end of the day. And hopefully we will also have roof rails. Seats are removed. This is where we're going to put the heater. So underneath the heater there's this little gasket, and there's a nice oval here, which is where we'll rest that right in there. I'm going to take some paint, spray over top of the holes, that way I'll have a template, and then I will have to drill each one of these holes for the bolts. This is going to be the fuel line, and then I think this one's probably going to be the intake, and then that's going to be the exhaust. So we'll get all that drilled out, and then our nice little heater here will mount right in there, and I'll run a hose from here out the back there straight into the cabin. Trying to get this heater installed. It appears our heater does not come with this muffler part, which would make it a little bit quieter, so we're gonna have to get that later. It only has this hose, but also instruction manuals don't really seem to come in the box anymore. But this is supposedly the instruction manual for this model. It doesn't have that. There seems to be a ton of models, and for whatever reason the one that we got does not include that part. So I have the hose under here. I'm gonna have to mount this up underneath there. We'll have it kind of come out the side and then it'll probably be a little bit louder than normal because it doesn't have that piece on there, but we will see how it sounds once we get it going. Me and my helper under here.
We got is this your associate?
She just keeps moving closer to me.
Are you doing a good job, Kino? Are you helping?
Every time I lay down, she starts licking me.
Well, guess what?
So I think a little bit of a snag on here because the heater that's installed on the front looks like it's already using the auxiliary
Ooh.
line.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have to figure out a way to split it or something. So I'm gonna look online and see. We may have to order a part.
Okay.
And then I was reading somewhere it sounds like you might be able to split that into 2 lines. So let's see if I can figure that out.
Well, I've got good news.
What's that?
I'm done the roof rails.
Nice. Let's see. Let me go up and
All right,
see.
let's go check.
Climb out.
Enjoy your nap under the van, Keens.
Yeah, the rails look really good. They feel sturdy. I may then put that look and
Sikaflex?
see. Yeah, I could
Yeah.
put some of that along the sides just to, I don't know, we'll see. We'll see if it's needed, but could always go in there.
Well, one good thing.
Yeah. Yeah, one of the 2 tasks done.
Dirt and
Oh, I know.
You're covered in.
All right, after probably about an hour of figuring that out, what we found was the problem is that our van comes with an auxiliary heater already installed under the hood, and that allows you to go ahead and like set it on a timer or push a button on the dash, and that will use some diesel in a little separate heater engine to heat the motor, heat the engine, and also heat the cab before you get in. That's not in every Sprinter van. It is in this one. Basically, it's the same as what we're installing here. It's just a smaller version of this guy. And they both need to tap into the fuel line. And normally Sprinters do have a auxiliary line that is not being used, but in our case with this heater, it is being used for the one that's on the front. So what I need to do is tee off of that. Looks like there actually is a connector. I found something on Amazon here that it's a Dorman T connector for the fuel line. Looks like it'll connect right on there. I should be able to connect the other heater and this new heater onto that same fuel line. So while I can't finish the whole job today, I'm going to try to still get the fuel pump installed and maybe the line run, and then next weekend we'll be able to finish it up. So always a little bit of a snag, but at least it looks like we found a solution. Late in the day, well into the installation of the heater. And I wouldn't say the installation's first lead by the instructions are not the most clear. There seems to be many versions of this. All the versions would agree that I've installed this heater backwards. So it's not really that huge of an issue. So I would say this definitely goes down with my least favorite project, as my least favorite project of the van build so far. And my coworker Christian asked if there's been any oops moments this weekend, and at that time there hadn't been. Everything was going really well, so you completely jinxed it. This is definitely an oops moment.
It's all your fault, Chris.
All your fault. Okay, we've got the heater out. Looks like that is the error hole. That actually supposed to be over there. And then I just need to flip the heater around, put it back down, and then we should be good.
Just taking Kino out for a quick break. It is her dinner time, so just want to give her a little bit of exercise before I fed her. When we left Chris, he was starting to swear like a little bit like a trucker. The heater's been a real pain to install. Normally Chris is absolutely as cool as a cucumber, so you know things are not easy when he starts swearing all the time. With that, we're gonna go on a quick walk before we freeze, and then we are heading back to the garage.
We are getting ready to connect the control.
Watching this guy explain how to put a heater together.
Espar unit.
He's actually extremely helpful.
Seems to be the only video that actually has been helpful so far.
There's so many different versions of this thing, and everyone seems to have a different version with a different wiring harness. And there's like 6 wires here that we're not even going to be using. And the installation manual just explains everything. So anyways, this guy seems to be cutting straight to the point. And Espar should take some notes from this guy's video because it's quite helpful.
We finished our chores for the day, so we're being quality emotional support. right? Good. We're a good emotional support.
Yeah, you guys do very well for each other. This is just not fun at all. The Deutsch connectors, or whatever they're called. The Deutsch don't know how to make a connector. All right. When you think you're done the project, but you're really not sure because there's so many wires here, you don't know what they all do. You just jump right to the end where you just try plugging it in and see whether it works. And we will see, logically, connecting it to a car starter booster pack. I don't have the diesel tank connected because we need that T from Amazon. But what we should hear is my thermostat should light up, and we should hear some clicking when I try to turn it on down below, which will be the fuel pump trying to pull fuel. So I'm going to plug this on. We'll turn it on.
Oh my god.
Okay, so we have power.
Woo! I just had a heart attack.
So anyways, we do have power, it's blowing, but we don't have the fuel line hooked up, so it's not hot. I don't know if the fuel pump's working yet because it's not making any sounds, but we will see next week once those parts come on Amazon. So hopefully that will be more of a success. And why are all of our wires falling off all of a sudden?
Everything's just disconnecting right now. The van's done.
Yeah.
It needs a nap. Gotcha!
And what you didn't see on camera was that I did it to her like 5 minutes ago. And then
We're done!
I'd say for me that was probably one of the more stressful days of the van build thanks to the heater, but in the end I think it's all done right. So hopefully next week when we have that part, it just fires up and blows warm heat, and then that means that we'll be good. And you did all the roof stuff. So that's so that's good to have all that out of the way.
We just looked up the cure time for the Sikaflex. We thought it was 24 or 48 hours. It's 7 days.
7 days. So the van has found a new home for 7 days, and thank you very much, Adam and Debbie, for the space in the garage.
So I think this is how we're gonna end the week. It has been over 20 hours of work that has gone in the last 2 days. It may not be a full week's worth of work, but effectively it is how much work we put into the van, probably more than what we put into the van over the course of the entire week. We're closing it off for the week. We wish, because we can't come back, Chris has flying every day this week, or flying learning.
Online learning. So
and I'm going back to work this week. I get to start photographing couples finally. I'm very excited.
So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. And if you really enjoyed this, subscribe. We did just hear our 12-volt air conditioner is being shipped this week, so we're so excited to get that on. And then after that, we'll pretty much be ready for spray foam. So I think that's the next step, and that'll be really exciting to see that being done.
So if you are excited to see the next video, give us the thumbs up. We will see you next week. Have an awesome week, guys. See you later.
See you later.
Bye. Oh, you want to go home? You ready to go in the car?
I'm tired.
Go get Daddy.
You tired, Keenies? Let's go for a car ride.
Let's go home, Kino.
Let me go.
Let's go.